high school players. They're not teenagers. Look at them. Hey, how you doing? Y'all been working out, Coach?
Nah, they don't hit the weight room about once a week.
Y'all better stop complimenting them. They won't.
Their heads won't be able to get out here today.
We don't have a helmet size for that.
I was going to ask you why you brought your assistant coaches with you, but
Yeah, where's the players at? These men you got with you right here, I'm telling you. No, honestly, but for all seriousness, when I come the other day and seen you guys, I hadn't seen them all. I've seen Whit a few times, out, but I haven't seen Cade. And when I seen him in the weight room the other day, I was like, man, he's been working out.
We talking about the same kid? Nah,
Dude, he's been – I mean, they've all been getting after it, but I see them a little regular, and I haven't seen Cade.
Yes.
Man,
Cade's had a really good offseason.
He has.
After basketball, he's one of those kids that I didn't really see him because the way the middle school's set up, they don't really start our program and until they get to that first summer going into the ninth grade year, and I've kind of changed that throughout the course of 2 years so that some of those 6th, 7th, 8th graders can start getting used to our program, because if you've never been in it, it's kind of a hit in the face, and so but Cade, he's one of those before after pictures, because I can imagine seeing his face when he walked in 2 years ago, and then just to see him now, like I compare him to Slade Alexander, and so Slade is one of those guys that signed with JSU, so he's going on to play at next level. Slade is around 6'2", 190, 195. He'll get up and down depending on what he eats. But Cade's around 190 now, and the last time I saw Slade weigh in, he was 188. So I've started to call Cade Slade Hopper instead of Cade Hopper. So,
got a new name, guys. Print that, Shannon.
And I kind of motivate each of them by kind of picking at both of them. So.
Hey, Coach, is Whit the fastest player on the team?
Other than coaches?
Yeah.
No, he is.
Okay.
What'd you run? A 10.8, 7? 10? Is that your fastest?
10.8, 700.
So 10.8 and 100. He ran a 4.52 at Auburn. I think that's probably your fastest in the 40. We ain't gonna talk about it. My knee's been bothering me since football, so I talk a lot of trash. But if he really wants to line up, I'll pull a hamstring or something.
Yeah, we were just joking about that yesterday. Remember?
Oh yeah, we was joking about that yesterday. Tell us, how long have you been out there as a head coach at Center? For some people that may not know the whole story, tell them a little bit about how long you've been out there.
So this will be my going on 3rd year, and so that doesn't seem like that long, but it actually is a milestone for me, because this will be the first time in my coaching career that I've started the 3rd year at the same school, and that's I know that's probably not what you're aiming for as far as a resume builder, but I mean, starting off in South Georgia, down right above Jacksonville, we were there for 2 years. I got my first OC job, and it just, moving up in the coaching ranks, I was able to become a head coach at Washington Wilkes when I was 27, 28, and so anyway, the Lord led us to Center, and I'm so thankful. My wife and kids, I mean, we love it here. It's a great place to raise kids. We've got great kids here. We love the community. Me being born and raised from Cedartown, I'm kind of aware of Center and Weiss Lake, and we spent a lot of time here growing up, but we've never been more happier to be at a place, and I'm very blessed to be the head football coach here, and we definitely don't take any days for granted, and it's not one of those work type environments. I mean, every day it's like I wake up and I get to have fun. Right. And look forward to seeing these guys. And
it seemed like you was having a lot of fun when I went to weight room and visit them the other day. This guy, he's like one of the players. I mean, he's blowing around, he's running a whistle, he's running in circles around to each cage. He's helping the players, and he's got a lot of energy in there.
I feel like our guys kind of feed off of the environment and the energy that we're going to give them. So obviously, I'm going to be upbeat every day, but we want them to be there. They don't. I mean, it's a decision they make. They don't have to be there. They can do anything else they want to do. They can walk the halls. They can be in a club. They can do whatever. And I mean, I want every athlete in our school to want to play football.
Well, that leads me to this question: how is the culture? I mean, it's just great, right?
It's fantastic. I mean, we have 2 dead weeks in the summer, and we use those dead weeks for, you know, I tell all my parents to go on vacations. I give them 2 weeks. Ideal situation, use these weeks, but if there's another week, they need to bank days. So that week we were out of school was our first bank week, and June 28th to July 2nd is our second. So you're talking about non-mandatory, just bank days. We had 35 to 40 in there on those weeks. And so, I mean, those are days that, you know, it's nothing mandatory, but those guys want to get up. They want to be there. I mean, we had a couple of camps that he's gone to. It's just, you know, the desire to want to come in there and get better as an individual player for themselves, for their teammates.
For your school, I mean, it's black and gold. I mean, you're going to be a warrior, and the things you're talking about, bringing them up from young ages and, you know, being involved in the football camps and that kind of stuff, that's what the culture is, you know, over at Center. It's always been that way, you know, and older mentors you was talking about. I know, you know, your dad played, I'm sure, a big role in you being a coach, you know, and the things that you do. And me and you talked about that a lot on the show when you come on last year, you know. Tell us about, talking about some coaching kind of stuff. Tell us about your assistants, because we met one of your new assistants over there the other day. Tell us about what's going on.
So, you know, not to get right into assistants, but one of the big changes is we're going to have a new principal, and Mr. Bobby Tittle has come in, kind of hit the ground running. We lost 3 assistants off of last year, and we were able to get a couple of hires already. And so one of them happens to be an Ohatchee guy. Brett Henderson's our new defensive coordinator. He's going to be starting this week. He was here a little bit last week. Also, we're getting a local guy in Josh Decker, who was approved last week, and he's going to be coaching the running backs and helping out in baseball. And both of those guys are quality guys, and they are very knowledgeable, very passionate, young, hungry. Kind of what I'm looking for in assistant coaches is seeing myself in those guys and seeing the overall plan and their values and relationships and what they put in the personal relationship they have with the players. And as far as Daddy goes, he's kind of like, you know, he's old school. That's his nickname in the staff room, and I'm not sure you can get rid of him if you tried. You know, we
probably don't want to, though, do you?
No, I mean, I don't, but there are times that we will physically, you know, well, not physically, but we will go at it.
Right.
My wife can attest. We fuss and argue 24/7, and then it's like we'll stop and be like, all right, where are we going to dinner? Yeah. You know, just on the spot. So I'm really excited to have the staff we have. Losing 3 guys, and obviously Britt Chandler is one of those guys that you really can't replace. But I feel really, really good where we're at. I like our numbers, and you know, I'm excited.
Coach, I know you lost Alexander, and you also lost Connor Elrod and some more players. Is it going to be hard or easy to find new leadership? Are these guys right back here providing them pretty good leadership?
They are, and it's just not something that, you know, you find out in August.
Right.
You know, these guys, I mean, we go to work in January. Like, you know, other programs, I don't know how they do things, but we lost to Mobile Christian on Friday. We were in the weight room Monday, slinging weights, going to work. There's no time in the region that we're in to let other people get an advantage on us. It's time to go to work. And I told them Thursday, I can't remember. It was Wednesday because so it was Wednesday. It's like you can do everything and still not win. We can work from now until it's time to play, and you still might not win. And so there's no guarantees. The only guarantees is what you're going to allow yourself to do. And so
that's a good question for the guys. What do you do, guys, to hold each other accountable? You know, I know Coach holds you accountable. I was over there the other day. Trust me, I know he's holding you guys accountable. But what do you do to police yourselves, you know, into that?
Well, we try to hold each other responsible by making sure people aren't skipping reps in the weight room and try to push them because some people try to quit in the middle of reps and on the field while we're running, and we always have to push them.
Now, Cade, being the new kind of part of the leader, I mean, you're the QB guy, and you got to take some reps last year, in which I'll say here, I mean, this is our show. I can say what I want to. You caught a little slack on some of that, but I thought you did a fantastic job considering what you had to deal with. So I can say that out here in the public because it is our show, and that's what we're going to say. So, but I thought, I mean, he just got through in the middle of this, Coach, and Slade goes out, and you're in. And he get like 3 days to practice, and then you're going to do it. But, I mean, he was always ready and prepared all the time. But I wanted just to say that you know, we noticed you did okay. You're fine. So we're looking forward to this year. So how are you as the new quarterback, how are you going to hold your team accountable? You know, what do you –
Well, I'm more comfortable because last year, you're right, I just kind of got thrown in. But this year I'm more comfortable, you know, being the guy. But I have a lot of good players surrounding me with Jay and Witt and Damian Ramsey. I have a lot of good guys, so it's a lot easier for me.
Are you as fast as your daddy was?
I think
No.
I'm faster.
Really?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Ran a 4.52. Did he run? He was pretty fast.
Mark was sub 4.5.
No, he said he ran a 4.4, but I don't think I believe that.
He said that was that 1980 stopwatch. I don't know.
All right. What about now? We done talked about your quarterback, and we're talking about your running back play. Damian's coming back. I remember watching him closely. I watched him closely in that Hanley game, and he's running the ball, and then he's on defense, and he's knocking guys out.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Damian this year, and how
So
he's going to be a big part of
He's
that.
actually, this offseason, he's got himself into the best shape he's ever been. You know, there was kind of no policing yourself during COVID, and so when he got back in the weight room, obviously in June we got to open up. He was around 240, and I mean we put a lot in our program, so we're going to weigh our guys in. We're going to see where they're at. I mean we're taking care of nutrition. I mean we just watch things that. So anyway, this off season he's gotten down to about 220, but he's faster, he's stronger than he's ever been. So I mean he's kind of getting his body ready for what's coming, and you know I have no doubt in the work that he's put in. He's going to be a force this fall.
He did. He looked good the other day. I seen him, and he's trimmed down some. You could tell his neck's slimmed down some. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, they were getting after it. They were working really hard the other day. We expect great things from them, and I can't wait to see what's going to go on this year. Talking about this season coming, Dean.
Who you got week one? Who is your week one opponent?
Right now, our first game is Piedmont. I think it's the 27th, 28th.
Okay.
Last year we had Carver. Carver informed us a couple weeks ago that they're canceling that game.
Okay, so your first game is Piedmont. So now your first
game's
game's a
Piedmont.
huge rival.
Yeah, that's
15 miles down the road. So how do you get ready for that?
Yeah.
I mean, just no different. I mean, I'm not from here, so Piedmont is just 15 miles away. It's no different than Hoax Bluff, whatever. These guys are the ones that grow up. You know, my first memory of Piedmont is when my dad was coaching over there, and I was going to games over there. And so, I mean, it's not like it's more of a community type thing with it. I mean, our guys, they got to execute. They got to play better. We lost to Piedmont last year. That was probably our worst game of the season because, I can sit there and put the first clip of the game on, and we're about like 10% as far as execution goes. I mean, just across the board. And so that's the reason why we lost that game is because we didn't even show up to play. So, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's a non-region game.
Right.
I mean, it's a game that we need to go test ourselves and compete and get after it. I mean, it
Right.
is no different. But
It kind of means more maybe I don't want to say means more. It's not a good word, but it means something different for the players than it does the coaches. Is that correct, guys? You can speak about that if you want.
well, maybe, yeah.
I mean, it's always been a big rivalry growing up. I mean, I remember when I was little, always going to the games and watching us play Piedmont, and it's always been a big rivalry. So that hate's always been there, and now being a part of it, it's just a bigger deal. So
You really just basically go in faceless opponent, right? I mean, no different than you would any other week.
Yeah.
Same way for everybody.
The good thing is, I mean, we have a scrimmage game with Trine, so we scrimmage Trine the 13th, so we'll get a little competition, obviously, before we go into it.
Sorry, Wyatt. Go ahead.
The thing about Piedmont is my dad, like, always, when I was growing up and everything, he was just like, y'all better beat Piedmont this year and all this stuff. And I don't know, it was just funny. But then when we finally came down to it this year where I've actually get to play them, we just didn't come ready to play. And we just kind of like folded all as a team. But this year I really think that we do have a really good shot at coming and beating Piedmont.
I agree. It's exciting. I'm excited for the year coming for you guys, and we'll turn it over to our other local media guys. Peanut Gallery, go ahead, hit it up. Joey Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, I want to say that. Obviously, our goal number one is to get in the playoffs, win the region championship, and we were back in the playoffs last year. Got a great test. It was not necessarily fun driving to Mobile in the first round, but I mean we had control of the situation and couldn't beat Jacksonville, couldn't beat Hanley. So that's kind of the disadvantage of being in South Alabama, even considering you live in Center. But obviously we want to be back in the playoffs. We felt like, in that game, Mobile Christian, we had our chances to win the game and just didn't get it done. And then you see kind of their success in recent years and how they were able to play ACA in the second round. We felt like, we kind of we're not where we want to be, but we're right on the edge of it. And so that's kind of what drove us in the off season. We want to be back in the playoffs. We want to compete for the region championship. We want to finish games. We were pretty good in 9 out of 10 at halftime, either leading or tied or one couple of points away. But one of our big things in the off season is find more guys to get them on the field. So we're not playing as many both ways. Usually the teams that we ran into situations, especially in the second half, Jacksonville and Hanley, a lot of those guys are playing both ways. And at the end of the day, there's not a weight room program alive that's going to overcome 24 versus 48.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of one of the things that we've been looking for. And but definitely our goal is to get back in the playoffs, compete for the region championship, win the region championship, and get a blue map back in the Center.
Yeah.
Kind of along those same lines, Coach, and you and I talked earlier just a minute ago. You came real close last year, but you had COVID. You lost your starting quarterback. You were real close to advancing. What are you doing different this year? What are you guys looking forward to try to make that next step into digging deeper into the playoffs this upcoming season?
So one of the things is we just start football as far as field work goes just a little bit earlier. Last year during COVID, it was more, June was kind of chalked up to just getting the kids back in the weight room, just getting them back in condition. We had to bring them in. I don't even know how many groups we had, like 8. It was like every hour I was bringing a new group in, and definitely wasn't fun as a coach because as energetic as I am, you're talking about screaming at the top of my lungs from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I mean, it's like, I'm so glad we're not doing that. And so it definitely gives us a sense of, all right, we're a little bit ahead of where we were last year. And now we're able to hit the weight room. I call it the circus circuit, which is what we're doing right now. So I got them into 3 different groups, and they're going to different parts of the facility, getting our workouts done. And then after about 90 minutes, we go out on the field and we're doing offensive and defensive work. So just trying to get ahead. of where we were last year, and I feel like we already kind of took a step in the right direction.
All right. Oop, there we go. Coach,
Reggie?
I think we talked briefly outside about Bobby Tittle coming in as principal. Talk to us about that transition for you as a football coach in your program.
Well, during kind of like the search of getting a new principal, you try to find out information on the guys, just kind of like just like a football coach. I mean, all right, what kind of guy is he? What does he believe in? How is he as a person? So I'm starting to hear names about possible people, and one of the key things right off the bat was that anybody with any firsthand knowledge, in the know, whatever, this guy has no black marks. I mean, he is a dude, and I remember our first conversation. I think it was the morning after he was approved. I was on the way to work, and we talked, and it was almost like I had just got a pregame speech, because I'm pulling into the school, and after talking to him, I'm like, let's go to work, So,
Good stuff.
I was really, really excited, and then sitting down with him this Tuesday. I mean, he's an exceptional guy. He's got great character. Obviously, he's for academics 100%, but he's for everything, and he understands that everything helps out the other, and it's like a one machine and one tribe type deal. And so, in the short amount of time, we've hired a couple of coaches already, and he's been in the weight room, he's been in the field house, he's going to meet the team soon. That was one of the first things he says. He wants to meet the team and talk to the guys, and I can't wait to introduce him to those guys and let him talk, because it's like, one of the things he said is, he said, Coach, we have discipline issues. I'm going to take care of it, and then I'm going to send them to you and let you take care of it. And so absolutely 100%, that's how it's been done. And my guys know that, there's certain expectation in our program. And so I'm just excited.
Coach, I got
Go ahead,
something
Bo.
to throw at you. I came out there and watched you guys work out, and Slade and I became very good friends, and Damien and I as well. But I watched all these guys work out last year, and you guys, like you were talking about energy, it's a circuit. You guys actually really get after it, and I love that from you. But Slade said something to me in his interview that stuck out about yourself that I really thought. He was like, it starts at the top. He's like, you give that kind of confidence to us. You also give that foundation for these guys. I mean, I look at these guys. These guys, we're around teams all the time. These guys are some of the best-looking athletes we've seen. But Slade talked about that and how you made it important, the weight room important, and how you came in and came to change the culture of the weight room, and how everybody got on board with it. Even yourself, you look like you're in good shape and everything. But talk about that and how that really is the backbone of your program.
So, obviously playing college football, been in a weight room program at Jacksonville State, shorter, and so anyway, throughout the years, when I first got in the weight room after 5 years, I actually taught math for 5 years, and then when I became the head football coach, that was my first experience being in the weight room. But coming to Cherokee County, I remember the first day walking in the weight room, it was like, I realized there was going to be some problems, because we're going to do an Olympic movement every single day. And we didn't have bumpers. We didn't have, there was like, so anyway, I had to spend $10,000 up front on the front end just to equip ourselves to go in there and be able to do, some of these hang snatches, hang cleans, power cleans, just different movements that we do every single day. And kind of evaluate where the kids were. We had 2 kids total, 2. That's a lie. We had 3. I'm sorry. We had Kendrick, we had Slade, and I'm not even sure Slade was at 225 when we first started, but maybe 2 or 3 kids that could power clean over 225. And that was day 1, week 1. And just to fast forward to where we were, mid-April, we have 35 kids that power clean over 225 right now. And so that's a program change. And it's not like they weren't necessarily working. It's just you're talking about night and day, two different type programs. We're on 4.5-week cycles, so we're we're kind of maxing every 4 weeks. That's just kind of with our situation, with our bail schedule. That's how it works out. And but it's the energy. Like, I get excited when my guys are successful on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom. If somebody passes a test and I'm outside the room, we're gonna make some noise in the hallway. I mean, that's just how it is. And I have a parent meeting with every one of my kids, and I mean, I'll straight up tell them, I'm crazy. I am, but it's like, I'm telling you up front, like it's one of those things.
The guys are nodding yes, by the way.
But it's just when the kids and the parents and the teachers know the expectations, we're on the same page. And it was like Slade and that crowd, man, they love to work. And so they were some of the funnest I've ever had the part of. And I've been at Seartown. I've had guys, I've been in a weight room with a coach recruiting from every Power 5 school in the nation. They were in there at the same time. I had Muschamp in there and Louisville and Oregon, and they're all recruiting those guys. They're not as fun as the guys I have because, it's just they're special. They're different. I've got 6 guys that will be playing at the next level this fall, and every one of those guys have been coming in the weight room still. It's like I want to see them. Slade came, I think Monday, and was like not working out, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I didn't want to be in the way. I was like, how are you gonna be in the way? So anyway, it's just part of the expectations, part of the culture. I was fortunate enough to have a couple of these guys. Witt, fourth block, we have athletic periods, so the football team comes in fourth block all together. And so Witt and a couple other ones had AP classes, I think it was. So, I'm not going to knock them for being smart. So I gave up my planning period to have them come lift second block. And so I had like 7 to 10 of them in second block. And so I was able to get an off season myself because, I ain't going to make Witt work out by himself. That's not any competition. So he needed some competition. So every now and then I'll jump in there and go to work with him. So,
Hey, y'all closing down on that, and to your point, man, it looks beautiful. The weight room out there looks fantastic, and Slade and I talked about, and you and I talked about the upgrades. Looks beautiful, but I'll kick it back to Matt.
All right, guys.
I think
we appreciate you, Warriors here.
We're going to pass it down to Shannon.
Okay.
Kate, this is for you. I know it's sort of a perfect storm, just for lack of a better term, last year that you had to step in, the situation that you had to step in. Just talk to me about, the athletes like Witt and Damian and, the playmakers that you've got to utilize. Probably this year I would think that you probably feel a little bit more comfortable and know more about what their skill set is and everything. I mean, just talk about that.
It makes my job so much easier having Witt and Malachi Horton, Jack Amos, Damian. I mean, I have a lot of playmakers outside of me, so I just got to get the ball to them, and they can make the plays. And we have a great O-line, and we lost 4 offensive linemen last year, but we just got to reload, and that's what we're going to do.
Also, Coach, want to give you a chance, Coach, to something we've started new this year. Want to give you a chance to plug your Warrior Network. Plug those guys. On your
introduction?
Yeah. Plug your Warrior Network on your Facebook feed and your Warrior Network guys that do your home games. Want to give you a chance to plug those guys too.
So yeah, our 2 main guys that the Warrior Network that stream our games, obviously through Weiss Radio, but Dwayne Amos and Chad Hopper are the 2 that handle the Warrior Network, and they do an extremely good job. And it's
just kind of Dwayne.
Yeah, it started 2 years ago with Dwayne kind of starting through a Mixler app and trying to get because my thing is evaluating things on the front end, like what does Cherokee County football not have? And obviously you got the Weiss Radio Game of the Week, but it's like, I was just thinking, how could we make it better? How could we make it just for Center and Cherokee County and the Warrior fans, and not to take away from anybody else and what they got going on, and not necessarily looking at any other of the county schools, but just
That's something
strictly
just-
to our
just for you
fan
guys.
base. Like, is there a way that we can get
That's
this
something for you
done?
guys.
So obviously, Chad and Dwayne, they do a great job. It's still in the I don't know. I think we're out of the beta phase, and maybe next year. I just, the story at Munford was so classic because it came down to the wire and the battery died.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
And I'm like, all right, 4th down. He drops back to passing, and the feed just like cuts.
That don't ever happen. That never happens.
Everybody was like commenting, was like, what happened? Who won? It's like nobody knew. And then I think he said they had to go live on his phone
Yes.
for the last.
I remember Dwayne telling me that with basketball or something.
Yeah.
I seen
Can
it
I
all.
just say, as a quick little note
Crazy
of that,
story.
as the producer of the Warrior Network, I can vouch that that was a insane situation to deal with.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so, but it's been fantastic. We're hopefully, building on, we'll be able to get the stream with the audio, and that's one of the things that we're kind of working on. It's just finding the right streaming service is best for both. And but obviously, a big shout out to Watch Radio for allowing us to use kind of the tools available to get that out there. But yeah, we wouldn't be able to do it without people like Dwayne and Chad. I mean, they have a good voice for it, much better voice for the radio than I have. But they really do. They do a great job. And just to hear Chad like rag on his own son is
Yeah.
pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah.
And then to hear Dwayne kind of rag
Yeah.
on Jack,
Yeah.
it's
He
funny.
wouldn't. He wouldn't. He
sometimes.
didn't. He should have run that guy down. I don't know what he's thinking. I heard him say something about Jack one time not running a guy down. And I was, if you didn't know, like that's his son, but if the people that
Probably
do
figured it
know.
out pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was like, he should have run that guy down. And most people be thinking, why is he downing that kid?
Yeah.
He's I don't know. Why
You
you so
can down
mean
your
to him?
own kid, can't you?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
y'all.
we're gonna cut it loose.
Thank
Thank you
y'all.
guys. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.